Hello, everybody. Ollie Job here. Now, I was sitting down reflecting and thinking about the past 7 months, how I began podcasting, and some of the lessons, experiences that I've had, and I felt like there's some things that I got to get off my chest. Is that cool with you guys if we sit down, we talk about it, and I just get some things off my chest? Yeah? All right. What I want to talk about is how I got started and why, what has helped me along the way, talk about having discipline, overcoming self-doubt, and really just this can be applicable to your life, things that you're working on, things that you want to work on, and maybe some of the things that I've gone through that could be helpful for you. Now, I will preface this, I'm not an expert, I'm not a pro, I'm not perfect, but I think that what I've gone through might be helpful for someone out there, so I feel like it's worth sharing. All right, let's get started. So let's start with why and how I started this thing. As we all know, we all went through the pandemic. We were cooped up at home, watching a lot of mass media, watching a lot of live streams, podcasts, social media, you name it. And I was there too. I was doing the same exact thing. I was cooped up, and I would be on my phone often on the internet, and I found that I was being a consumer of all this media. And I thought to myself, oh, this is cool. People are getting their word out there about what they think is really important. They're able to express themselves. And I was like, I could do the same thing. I also have things that I feel like are valuable sharing. So I thought, what are some of the natural things that I'm really inclined to? What are some of the things that I enjoy doing? And I found podcasting being that. I felt like I could bring value to people's lives by sharing some of the things that I'm engaged with, some of the things that interest me, like entrepreneurship, creativity, and business. I really respect people who are out there just putting themselves in front of people, getting the word out about what they're working on, and being really fearless, because it does take a lot of, let's say, courage to go forward with an idea that you have, bring it to fruition, put it in front of people, be able to be criticized, take that criticism, and move forward. So I gravitated towards this entrepreneurial space after college in Rhode Island. I felt like there was a lot of cool things going on that maybe not everyone knew about. So I wanted to make sure that that was highlighted and shared with the masses, Rhode Island is home to a lot of great innovation, predates us, and even now to this day, there's a lot of really, really awesome things that are going on. So I figured, how can I get this thing off the ground? Luckily, one of my friends, Jason, he was shooting a podcast, and he put on his Instagram story, hey, who wants to join me for an episode? And I was like, yeah, I was already thinking about doing this thing. Let me get out there. Let me see if I like it. So luckily, Jason had me on. We sat down, chopped it up. It was a great time. After that, I reached out to the guy who owns the podcasting studio, and I was like, hey, man, I was in this room, like my creative juices were flowing. I really felt at home there, and I want to maybe get back in that space if that's okay. I'll treat the place with respect. Luckily, he allowed me to do so, so he and I sat down. We recorded a podcast episode, and it was great. He actually recommended this book called The Four Agreements to me, and I just read it. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to you guys too. But after that, I really was thinking, okay, if I am serious about this and I really enjoy it, how can I take this to being something that I don't need to have to check in with someone else? I don't have to ask for permission. I can just get up and go do something. So one of my good friends, Edmonton, mentioned a resource to me about a building in Providence that has a recording studio. Reached out to the building, spoke with the people in charge, got a tour of this place, and really fell in love with it. So after I secured the recording studio, I had to start thinking about me paying for a membership to have access to this space and how I could make use of it. If the membership is $300 a month and other places in Providence are charging $100 an hour to record an episode, I figured I need to have at least 3 episodes a month to justify me paying for this access. From there, I really started thinking about who are people who are doing things which interest me, and I think that could be interesting to other people. So I started to reach out to those people, highlighting them. And when I first started, I reached out to a couple people who maybe weren't super receptive to having me highlight them. And it's probably because I wasn't anyone yet. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have a catalog. I didn't have a resume in this regard. Now, I knew that. And I really look back and I think I don't blame them at all for not wanting to join me. Nowadays, maybe they would, but either way, that doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get at is some people, I feel, get held up and tripped up on some of the little things. They have an idea in their head, and they haven't really executed on it yet, but it could be because of other limiting factors like people's criticism, people's preconceived notions of your success or failure, or even what they think you're capable of. I'm here to tell you, you can do anything that's in your mind. I know all of us, we have a sense of purpose, we have a sense of fulfillment. Now, you know better than I do. I don't know what is in your head that you think is a good idea for you, but I would recommend starting to take action on that. And I'm not saying you have to just go get an LLC, you have to go do this or that. That's like the scary thing. I say take it one step at a time. Reverse engineer what success looks like to you and start working backwards. Say you can see yourself being on a stage one day with thousands of people and they're all listening to you, they're clapping, they respect you. Okay, if that's the case, think about what that person has had to do to get to that point. What obstacles they've had to come over. How do they even get started? Yeah, they have a company, they have a logo, they have all these things. That's something small that people, I feel, get tripped up over. For me, I really was just like, okay, I know what I want to do. It's podcasting. Logo. Let me type it into Google. Sure, this looks great. Let's slap it on. Name. Oh, this sounds great. Let's slap it on. Let's keep it moving. And from there, I was able to just have this domino effect of starting to just crush things one by one by one. So what I'm trying to say is, if there's an idea in your head and you know what it looks like, you know what it might even be, go with it. Start. Just like take it from the first step. And don't think that you have to do all of these tasks just to get started. Really, just start with something simple, even if it's writing it down. For me, getting started meant that I needed to just start doing stuff. So I didn't over-index on having a logo, having a name, having the platforms that I wanted to push it out to. I really just started Googling things. And I think right now, being in the 21st century, being in the year 2023, access to information is at an all-time high. If there's an idea in your head and you don't know how to really go about it, really just Google it. I mean, all of the resources that you need are out there. And as you start doing these things, you need to have blinders on. And I feel like to a certain degree, you need to have delusion. You need to be delusional. You need to be hell-bent on what you're doing is the right thing for you. You need to trust yourself, put yourself out there. And when I got started, oh, a logo. Okay, Google, free logos online. Got one, looks good. Sure, let's slap it on, let's go. Name of a podcast. I thought to myself, well, I really want this to be motivational. I want people to feel encouraged when they listen to this. And I thought of the phrase onward and upward. Now, that sounds pretty cool. But for me, I almost wanted people to think before they even listened or even thought about the podcast. They had to challenge their mind to twist those words around and say, oh, it's upward and onward, which in my mind, onward and upward is onward and upward. Upward and onward is upward and onward. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys feel the same. That's just how I felt about it. But either way, I got started, and what has been instrumental to me having some sort of success, and by success, that's very subjective. I feel like that could be measured in many different ways. But for me, I feel like even having now 12 episodes is successful for me. I feel fulfilled. And what's been really helpful for me was having this group of people that I meet with every single week. It's our mastermind group. We call it an accountability meetup as well. We meet every week. We write down our goals, and we put bounties on them too. We tie money to it so that we say, hey, I want to read a chapter of this book in the next week. Having it written down, having it something that you can go back to and check off, one, it feels damn good when you do, but two, it really holds you accountable. You know that the people in that group are going to see you that next week, and they all have their things that they want to get done. They'll probably get them done. You don't want to be the one who doesn't. So if I can provide any advice to someone out there who's looking to get their thing started and just have a way to really make sure that they're executing, I would say pick a core group of friends. Could be 1, 2, 3 people. Make sure that you guys meet every week and have this structure that we meet, we talk about our goals, and then we talk about what we're doing to work towards them. And every week you go down the line, check them off, talk about if you executed on them or not, and come back to that and say, all right, you know what, I didn't do this, but next week I'm going to do it. You know, I didn't get to this. I really want to, so I'm going to tie money to it this upcoming week, and I'm going to make sure I do it. It's a challenge, you know. It's something that can help you. And really all you need sometimes is just one friend or one person to hear you and validate you. You don't even need a lot of friends. So if you feel like, oh, I can't find those people in my life who would really be willing to meet with me, find one person and just have them hold you accountable. You hold them accountable, they hold you accountable. It goes both ways, and it's beneficial for everybody. A last thing I want to mention about that is just your network is your net worth. And sure, that sounds cliche, that sounds corny, but it's really true. If you have a community of people who you can reach out to help you out with certain things, that increases your net worth. I'm not saying in a monetary value either. I'm saying literally it expands your net worth, and it can have you be enabled to do more. Another topic that I want to talk about is mental health and well-being. And I feel like over these past couple of years, it's become more and more of a thing that people talk about, which is great. But I will say, everybody has moments where they either struggle with their mental health or they're just going through stuff. Life is challenging. No one knows what the future holds. So these things come up. I want you to know that it's okay to not be 100%. No one in this world, on this earth, is perfect. So don't for a second think that someone else is perfect or they're doing things better than you. Really, we're all on our own path. We're getting to our goals. We're getting to that finish line. We're getting to fulfillment, success, happiness, all in different ways. So don't let someone else's success or what they're doing be a hindrance to what you are trying to do. As I mentioned, no one's perfect. It's okay to feel less than 100%. Now, I think what's really helpful is leaning on your friends, leaning on people who are close to you, and just being able to be vulnerable, be open with them, share what you're going through. That could be someone who is your partner. That could be just a relative. That could be someone who you went to school with. What I'm saying is identify those people, keep them close, and be open with them. Be candid. It feels good to get things off your chest. You're not alone. Everyone's here to help you. You have a strong support system, I'm sure, even if it's not a lot of people. Find those people. Let's talk about discipline and overcoming self-doubt. So, the first things first is there's no such thing as failure, really. There isn't. If you go on to do something that you thought was a good idea, one of two things will happen. You will either succeed, which is great, or two, you'll go forward and maybe not continue doing that thing. You won't fail. What will happen is that you'll learn a lot of lessons. So the next time that you choose to go forward with something, you've already learned from your past experience. You know what to do, what not to do, and really, you can speak to having those experiences. You can feel like, okay, well, I made that mistake before. Maybe I shouldn't do that. This was something that worked. I'm going to use this again in a different way. So really, there's no such thing as failure. Another thing is you are the average of the closest 5 people to you. A high school teacher told me this back in the day, and he was like, show me your friends and I'll show you you. And I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know what you mean, like, whatever, man. But really, now that I'm a little bit older, I know that the people who I keep closest to me really are a huge influence on me. So for you guys out there, maybe it's worth reevaluating who you have close to you. Are they serving you right? Are they serving you in the right manner? Are they constructive to your success? Are they constructive to the places that you want to go, who you want to be, the people who you want to be around? And really take that seriously because it does influence your decisions. So a quote that I've heard and I really love is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Now, with that being said, those people who are close to you, they can have an influence on you. So if you want to go far, go together, but make sure that you're going together with the right people. A thing that I've seen recently with a couple people in my life, myself included, is feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you're not that person who's capable of doing those things that you think that you want to do. I almost want to paint this picture in your mind. Think of a snake that's shedding its skin. It's shedding its skin for a reason because, one, it needs to probably. I don't know all the real reasons, but the same way that a snake sheds its skin, you are doing the same constantly. Right now, you might be in your old skin. You might be feeling like, I am this certain person who's only capable of doing these certain things. But when you push yourself a little bit and you start to feel that uncomfortableness, you start to feel challenged in your mind, you start to question whether you can do it or not. That's you growing. Similar to a snake shedding its skin, you're growing. You're growing into that person. So know that where you are now is not who you'll always be. You're going to morph. You're going to turn into new things. You're going to be capable of other things that you didn't even think were possible. But it really starts with taking action. So do that, please. I think that there's a lot of cool things that a lot of people I know are interested in. They can see themselves being really successful with them. And it really just starts with taking action. I'm not perfect. I definitely have had moments where I've doubted myself. I've listened to other people's criticism, taken it the right way, wrong way, what have you. But what has been really helpful for me is just having these positive affirmations in my mind, really just making sure that at the end of the day, if there's something that I know is really a good idea, there's no reason for me to stop, wait, and just not execute on what I think could be helpful. So with that, podcasting has been it. I've really just had a sense of fulfillment. I feel blessed to say that I can sit here, spend some time, and really provide value to other people. So for you guys out there, if you know you're not feeling 100%, that's quite okay. No one's perfect. And I want you to know that things will get better. The things that are on your mind that you want to do, there's no time like now. Don't wait for the weather to be better. Don't wait for the economy to be better. Don't wait for that perfect time. There's no perfect time. The perfect time really is now. So just start. And listen, I know it's not easy. Like, we all wake up every day and there's things that we have to do. There's things we want to do, things we need to do. I want you to know that where you are right now is where you should be. You haven't missed out on anything that's happened. You're not too late to the game. There's always tomorrow, God willing. And with that, you can make this world anything that you want it to be. You can make yourself become who you want to be. You have to, like I said earlier, be a little delusional, have those blinders on. Think about what are distractions for you and try to eliminate or minimize those. And really just go forward with the goals that you have in mind. If you're going to take the advice of writing down your goals, get started now. Write down one thing that you think is something in your mind that could be really cool for you to do or a person that you want to become, and just have it there, right? Come back to it, look at it. It'll become more and more real, and you'll start working towards it. You'll start manifesting it. You'll start making it such a reality that there's no way that it won't happen. The last thing I want to say is, along your journey, advice will be given to you. People will have comments, criticism, everything in the mix. Now, what I've found is taking advice is really useful because you know what's working, what's not working, where you can improve. But as a part of that, be careful who you take advice from. I think it's very beneficial to listen to everyone, have this broad perspective so that you know different opinions, different perspectives. But if someone's giving you advice on something that you're doing and they haven't done it themselves, maybe take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it as the end-all, be-all. And why I say that is because all of us, we have these preconceived notions in our head of what success looks like to us, what we think other people are capable of, and sometimes we limit their ability to be successful because we say, I don't think you're cut out for that. I don't think that'll work. I know someone who did the same thing. It didn't work out for them. Oh, that market's saturated. You shouldn't do this. It's risky. Okay, yeah, those are all realities, but have they done it themselves? Are they willing to? Can they share their experiences with you? Are they the person who you really want to say, yeah, aye, Captain, you know best. You're the person who's done this before, and I should listen to you. I mean, do what you will with that. But what I'm trying to get at is really just trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Know that you're capable. Know that where you are right now is not where you'll always be, and let that be motivation for you to start executing, start going forward. Start making sure that these things that you know are on your mind happen. Because for me personally, at the end of the day, when it gets to the later parts of my life, I want to be able to look back and be really happy, feel fulfilled, be like, I have no regrets, or not many regrets. The things that I wanted to achieve in this lifetime, I did. I put myself out there. I wasn't too scared. I, of course, proceeded with caution, but I didn't limit myself from being great. So for you guys, be great. Let's get it going. I hope that this was helpful for anyone out there who's just sitting, thinking about what they want to do, how they can get started. If you already started, awesome. And along the way, I'll probably drop a couple more episodes like this, just really highlighting where I'm at, things that are top of mind for me. And if it's helpful for you guys, let me know. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. It really keeps me going, and it lets me know that some of the things I'm saying resonate with people. So thanks for listening. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.